한국을 비롯한 전
Hello
세계
viewers
시청자
in
여러분,
Korea and around the world.
오늘 토크쇼의
I am your
호스트
host,
장성규입니다.
장성규. Thank you.
자, 오징어 게임 시리즈에
Following
이어
the global
한국 문화를
sensation of
세계에
Squid
알리고
Game,
있는
another
넷플릭스
Netflix mega
메가
hit is
히트작이
spreading
또
the Korean culture
탄생했죠.
world.
바로 한국
It's none other
전통문화와
than the
K-팝을
animated
주제로
film
한 애니메이션 영화
K-pop Demon
K-pop
Hunters,
데몬
or KDH in
헌터스인데요.
short, inspired by
특히
Korean traditional
한국
culture in
프로듀서들이
K-pop.
참여한
The OST featuring
수록곡들이
Korean
큰
producers
인기를
has
얻고
become a
있습니다.
massive hit once again,
그야말로 K-팝의
proving
글로벌
K-pop's
위상과
global influence
확장력을
and
다시
expanding
한번
its
증명하고
reach.
있는 요즘인데요. 자, 지금부터
For
60분
the
동안
next 60
진행될 우리
minutes,
특별 방송에서는 K-팝
We'll
산업의
dive
현재와
deep into the
미래에
present
대한
and
심도
future
있는
of the
이야기를
K-pop
아주
industry,
특별한
joined
손님들과
by some
함께
very special
나눠보도록
guests.
하겠습니다. 자, 아리랑 TV를 통해
This talk show
방송되는 이
is
토크쇼는요,
simultaneously
글로벌
interpreted into
시청자분들을
English
위해서
for
영어로
our global
공식 편집되고
audience,
있습니다. 자, 그리고
and
아리랑
it will
TV
be
유튜브
streamed
채널로도
live on
실시간
ArirangTV's
시청이
YouTube
가능하다는
channel.
점 숙지해 주시길 부탁을 드리면서 자,
So
영상 하나
we will
보고
be right back
돌아오겠습니다.
after a short video clip.
Hear the sound ringing in your mind. Better sit down for the show, 'cause I'm gonna show you how it's done, done, done.
Yeah, licking like snack 'cause you got it like that. Take a big bite, want another bite, yeah. 너의 모든 걸 나 원해. 너 말고 모두 번해.
우리나라가 진짜 훌륭해 졌구나. 글로벌한 인파 내는 커처구나. 그렇게 좀 느껴서
지금 당장 날 봐 시간 없잖아. 넌 내 거야 이미 알고 있잖아. 'Cause I need you to need me. Back to your feet me so refreshing. My little soda pop. You're all I can think of. Every drop I drink up. You're my soda pop. My little soda pop. Cool me down, you're so hot. Pull me up, I won't stop. You're my soda pop. My little soda pop. You're my soda pop. Gotta drink every drop.
네, 박수 부탁드립니다.
Please give them a big round of applause.
데몬 헌터스. 벌써부터 몸이
So
들썩들썩하는데요.
everyone is very
자,
excited
오늘
now.
담소를 나누게 될 우리
So
손님분들
representing, let me
소개해드리도록
introduce today's
하겠습니다.
guest first.
자, 먼저 대표적인 글로벌
Representing
K-pop
one of the world's biggest K-pop groups and the voices behind Takedown from K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack. Please welcome Jeongyeon and Jihyo from Twice. Hello everyone, I'm Jihyo and Jeongyeon from Twice.
자, 그리고 멀리서 오셨습니다.
And joining us all the way
K-pop
here in
데몬
Korea,
헌터스를 연출한
the director of
Maggie
K-pop Demon
감독님, 어서
Hunters,
오세요.
director Maggie Kang. Hello everyone.
아직 시차 적응이 잘 안 되신
And I
걸로
know
알고
that you're
있는데
still suffering from
괜찮으실까요?
jet lag. Are you okay?
괜찮아요. 네.
Oh yes, I'm fine.
커피를 마셔서.
So I drank
아,
coffee, so I'm
카페인으로.
fine. So you
자,
have
이어서
caffeine.
K-pop 산업
Now
그
we
현장의
will hear
목소리를
directly
직접
from the
듣기
industry.
위해서
We're
이재명
honored to welcome
대통령께서
President
자리해
Lee Jae-myung.
주셨습니다. 어서 오십시오.
Please welcome Mr. President. Thank you.
자, 그리고 블랙핑크와
And
빅뱅
the
등의
hitmaker
히트곡 제조기
behind Blackpink and
R.Tee
Big Bang,
프로듀서
we have
함께하셨습니다.
producer
어서 오세요.
R.Tee with us today.
끝으로
And last but not least, we
K-pop
have the
아이돌
idol of K-pop
김영대
critics,
군과 함께
a critic
하셨습니다.
Kim
어서 오십시오.
Youngdae.
네, 안녕하세요. 김영대입니다.
Hello everyone, it's very nice to be here.
자, 또 이분들 소개해드려야죠.
And we also
미래의
need to introduce
다양한
these
K-pop
people. We are
산업
also
분야에서
joined by
활약할
young
우리
people
청년분들
aspiring to lead the
함께하셨습니다.
future
환영합니다.
of K-pop industry. Please welcome them.
자, 그리고 이제 제 뒤로
And
말이죠.
now behind
화면이
me,
뜰 텐데요.
we will see
그렇습니다.
a image and the
글로벌
screen.
K-pop 팬분들
You can see 100 global K-pop fans joining us via live video. Welcome everyone.
반갑습니다.
It's very nice to meet all of you.
감사합니다. 자, 이제 본격적으로
So now let us
대화를
dive into the
나눠보도록
discussions.
하겠습니다. 먼저 우리
First of all, I have a
감독님께
question
질문드리도록
for
하죠.
Director Maggie
여러
Kang.
애니메이션 작품에서
So you've worked as a story artist on
아티스트로
several
일을 하시다가
animation projects,
K-pop 데몬
but you
헌터스로
made your
감독
feature
데뷔하셨습니다.
directorial
데뷔하실 때
debut with
K-팝을
KDH.
주제로
So why
정하시게
did you
된
choose
계기가
K-pop as a
어떻게
theme for
될지
your first film?
네, 제가 처음부터
Well,
K-pop
I didn't
영화를
intend
만들려고
to
한
make a
건
K-pop film
아니었어요.
from the
예.
beginning.
제가 이제
헐리우드 애니메이션에서
So
일한
I
지
worked for
20년이
Hollywood
조금
animation
넘었거든요.
industry for
근데
a
처음
bit more than 20
시작했을
years, but from the very
한국
starting
문화를 이제 좀
point, I wanted to
쇼케이스하는
showcase,
그런
make a
영화를
film
보고 싶었어요.
that I want to see
그래서
an
그런
animation film
영화가
that
이제
showcases Korean
나오면은
traditional
일하고
culture.
싶다.
So I
계속
wanted to
그렇게 생각을
participate
했는데
in
안
that
나왔어요.
project, but we
20년
didn't really
동안.
have a project for
예.
Korean
그래서
K-pop for over 20 years. So I waited quite a long time for it.
내가 해볼까?
So I thought, why not? That I'd make it
뭐
myself.
이상하게도
So
우리 이제 demonology 그러니까
I was very interested in Korea's demonology. For example, the Korean Grim Reaper and the Korean Goblins. I thought it was very unique and something that was not really shown in mainstream. So the water ghosts as well. So I think these are some things that were very unique for Korean tradition, Korean culture. So naturally, I went to think of the demon hunter story. And at the time, in many studios, many people were interested in making a Korean culture and Korean K-pop movie, but no one else was actually making it. So I thought that maybe I should do it. So I combined K-pop and demon hunters together, demons together, and I thought it was a very interesting concept. So this was the beginning of the concept. So it's a very personal movie for me as well. My daughter also is named Rumi, and her name is Rumi, and I really like the character. So at the time, I made the character first, and this concept came afterwards. So I had the character Rumi, and I was actually pregnant at the time. So I didn't know whether it was a boy or a girl. But when I knew that it was a daughter, I thought that Rumi was such a pretty name that I named her Rumi. And in the movie, you can see the Rumi and the voice acting and the songs were actually sung by my daughter Rumi.
루미가 복덩어리라는
So Rumi is a very lucky girl.
이렇게 대박 난 거 다시 한번
And I really thank you that it was such a great success. So my daughter actually says that she's very famous.
마음껏 누리라고 전해주세요.
So please tell her to enjoy it as much as
그나저나 우리
possible.
대통령님,
Then let me ask
K-pop
Mr.
데몬 헌터스를
President.
줄여서
So
한이상
we
뭐라고
call
하는지
Korea
혹시 아십니까?
K-pop demon hunters. You know what it's called? It's something that you should know. It's Kedaemun or KDH. Kedaemun? Did you say?
캐대
It's called Kedaehan actually. KDH. Please give him a round of applause.
그 도깨비 있잖아요.
So you know you mentioned about the Korean goblin.
너무 잔혹하잖아요.
So zombies are a bit too cruel, if my perspective, but
먼저 한번 도깨비.
I think the Korean goblin is a bit different. So it's about a movie about the Korean goblin, but it's not really a zombie style, right?
어떻게 지금 제안을
So are you actually making suggestions for her next movie, maybe about Korean goblin? I think you really should make a movie based on the goblins. So I would actually strongly recommend you make a movie on Korean goblins. I think it would be a great
우리
idea.
결정을 하는 걸로.
So please, you have to make a decision this year. So we need to think this together.
캐대언 물론 보셨겠죠?
So of course, I know that you've seen the KDH, Mr. President. Is there any scenes that had a strong impression on you? Well, the most impressive scene, I guess, would be the tiger character. I know that you've named it Duffy.
이 호랑이하고
And the tiger character as well as the Grim Reaper. It was very interesting for
저는
me.
이거 너무 좀 깜찍했어요.
So it was very cute. I really liked it.
소금을 이렇게.
So of course, it's all about that, but then it was depicted in a more beautiful way. So now that you've mentioned it, how did these characters actually come out? Did you have any intention regarding this? So the image of the Grim Reaper is the Korean traditional head and black clothes. I thought was very iconic and very cool in Korean culture. So I thought that these kind of image was actually been seen in K-pop as well. A lot of idols have their concept like this. So I thought that it was actually nice to have this in the film, like a music video. So the lighting and the color was very set uniquely, and we have it in the editorial, like a Vogue magazine. So we thought about depicting and illustrating these kind of colors and images. So the animation has actually depicted these kind of colors and images for the first time. And in the scene,
했고 시간을
So
많이
we had spent a lot of
우리가
time
다
to make this
완성을 하고
possible. So
이제
after
리뷰할
completing
때
it and when
딱
we were
끝나서
reviewing it, it was all
너무
completed and
막
everyone was so happy
프라이드가
to
너무
have it and
넘쳐서.
everyone applauded to
예.
each other
사실
because it
얼마
was full of
전까지만 해도
surprises.
라부부란 캐릭터가
There was a
굉장히
Labubu
핫했는데
character
이미
that
거의
was really
넘어서고
popular,
있더라고요.
but I heard that it's even becoming more popular
이제
than
좀
Labubu.
가방에다 매달리고
Of course, we have a lot of earrings I think we should be making it for the
보시죠.
audiences and for the
네,
fans.
네, 축하드립니다,
So
여러분.
congratulations once again for your success.
아니 그나저나
And
캐대원에서 뭐 저
of course, in
개인적으로도 참 반가운 공간들이
KDH,
있었어요.
there were a lot of
한의원이라든지
places that was very
목욕탕이라든지.
familiar. For example, traditional
사실
Korean center
외국분들께는
and
좀
bathhouses.
낯설지 않을까
And these
싶은
may be a little bit
공간들인데
unfamiliar to the
어떻게
foreigners.
풀어나가시려고
How did
하셨던
you
거예요?
intend to illustrate it in the movie?
뭐 이제 목욕탕 같은 것도
Well, for the
우리가
bathhouses,
다른 사람들이 보기엔 좀
it may
낯설다고
be some
그렇게 생각을
unfamiliar
하는데
to other
그런 게
people,
아니거든요.
but it's not something that's unfamiliar. In Iceland and in Russia, when you go there, you can see the outdoor spas. And it's very similar to that concept. So I thought that this is a Korean style of bath. So I showed it. I think that people understand it like
그래서
that
저는 이
too.
영화를 만들면서 진짜 우리 문화에
So when I was
대한
making this
그런 거를
movie
숨기지
about
않고
our culture,
그냥
I wanted to be
있는
very
그대로 그냥
straightforward
보여주고
and
싶었어요.
show
우리는
the
이렇게
culture
한다.
as it is, that
설명도
this
안
is
하고.
how we do it. So I didn't think we needed explanation. Actually, the 깍두기 kimchi in 설렁탕 dish was the best because I was thinking, could that be a prop? Because that could be quite
제가 이거 하나 놀랐던 게요.
a limitation. What I was
소가수가
surprised by was that when life gives you tangerines, that series, it was shot in Jeju Island, and it was in a local city and in the past. Very, very patriarchal culture. Could this be resonating with the people around the globe? I was thinking, and it did, and I think it was due to the details, the vivid details. So likewise, the 깍두기 in the Demon Hunters, it was so surprising. Well, you just mentioned 깍두기.
서울 시내
And
풍경도 굉장히
On top of that,
디테일하게 잘
the
묘사했다고 생각했거든요.
landscape of
근데 제가
Seoul
알기로는 아마
itself was
5살
very
때 해외로
detailed.
가신 걸로
And I
기억을
understand that
하는데
you
근데
moved
어떻게 이렇게
overseas
한국을 잘
when you were 5. And how did
묘사하셨을지
you do this
제가
meticulously?
저희 식구가
Well,
제가 5살 때
When I was 5 years old,
한 5년인가
I moved to Toronto, but for about 5 to 6 years, we always had in mind that we could come back to Seoul. So in our summer break, it was around 2 months back then, and in summer, I spent my days in Seoul. So I had my language, Korean language intact, and I understood very well the tips and the culture of Korea. And so there was this connection intact and very strong. So that is how you became so meticulous in this detail, right? Well, let me ask twice. When watching Huntrix, I know that you could resonate with the K-pop stars, right?
저희도 이제 월드 투어를 하면서
Well, when we are on world tour, we meet with global fans, and
한마음 한뜻으로
they all sing along together, like in unison, and they cheer for us. They show the pamphlets and signboards, and they also have the same costumes as ours, and that cheers us up. And those were things that I could resonate and relate. What about Jihyo? Well, me too. You know, the pajamas that they were in. So you do wear pajamas, right? Yes, of course.
숙소에서 막 소파만
And
찾고
they find couches, right? Couch, right? So that's the same as reality. And also our members, we go to the Korean medicine clinic. So that was also very nice to see. So the takedown, it made the top, almost the top ranges and the billboard. So can you treat us to a short live rendition of Takedown? Thank you. First the microphone.
하면 될까요?
Should I start?
무반주로.
Without any accompaniment. Well, suddenly it feels like it's an assessment. Well, that's the president who's going
I
to
don't
assess.
think you're ready for the takedown. Break you into pieces in a world of pain. Cause you all the same.
Yeah, it's the takedown. A demon with no feeling, don't deserve to live. It's so obvious. I'ma gear up and take you down.
Wow.
야, 이렇게 지금 방구석 1열에서
So
라이브를
we were at the front line
유튜브에서
enjoying. Well, that's the same as what I have watched on YouTube.
라이브가 더 좋은데요.
The live is better, I guess.
예, CD를 삼켜 먹었다고
Well,
하죠.
it's just like a CD
자, 우리
quality.
김영대 평론가.
Well, what about Mr. Kim Youngdae, the critic?
사실 영화뿐만 아니라
Well, not
지금
only
KD연이
the
난리가 난 게
movie, but
중앙박물관 오픈런,
KDH
또
has
관련
led to
굿즈도
opening rush at the National Museum of Korea. Like related merchandises are selling out. So
그 이유를 뭘로
people around the world are being fanatic.
작품에서 출발하는 거죠.
예.
Well, actually, the starting point will be from that work itself because it transcends your nationality or your ages, or you just start out saying that you would watch only 5 minutes, and it's so intuitive. The things that comes out to you, it's not like it's fed, but it is very natural that you get to enjoy this content. And most of all, it's the music itself. The music transcends the boundaries. So through the music, we understand the work. And one of the identities of K-pop fans is that they are very focusedly devoted fans. And with that devotion, they want to make the subcultures from that work, they want to make it theirs. So they like the hundreds and what are they wearing, what are they eating, what are they holding, things like that are just kind of like really spreading out, and they want to sing along to those songs even though it's a high pitch. So such phenomenon is created, and with that, this devoted culture of being fans, it relates to the fandom to Korean culture, and then that is again connected to the traditional culture of Korea, their interest to it, and that is connected to what is contained in their iPhone, their cell phones. So what you're saying is that the K culture is permeating around the world, right? Well, there's another scene that the Huntrix, they eat 컵라면, cup noodles and kimbap on the run, right? So for that, we have more interest that is sparked about Korean food. So do you have any recommendation of your K food? Well, actually, we do have kimbap very frequently, but in particular, I have this pork belly, grilled pork belly with kimchi, and also the intestines with vegetables. For me, it's tteokbokki and sundae, and also the steamed intestines. So you like intestines, right? Yes. Well, I like the lung part. Same here.
말 나온 김에 우리
So
대통령께서도
what about Mr. President?
한식 하나 추천해 주시면 좋을 것
What
같아요.
is your recommended K food?
예, 뭐 설렁탕도
K food?
말씀주셨지만
Well, you mentioned K.
아,
설렁탕, but
비빔밥 너무 좋습니다.
all in all, it's
어우러지는
bibimbap, of
비빔밥.
course.
좋습니다.
비빔밥이 전 세계에서
So bibimbap
가장 건강식이 아닐까 싶어요.
would be the most healthiest foods around the world.
맞습니다. 예.
Yes, I agree.
자, 그리고 KD연은 지금
And
단순한 흥행을
KDH
넘어서
is not just a box office hit, but as a proof of a new possibility of Korean culture. And director Kang, how far do you believe Korean content can expand in the future? Well, actually, it will be endless. I cannot see the end. It's limitless because as I was making this movie, I studied a lot and did a lot of research, and I understood that there are so many aspects that I did not know about. So we have so many things that we can present to the world. So that is why it's endless. Well, of course, I don't know the details, but I agree with her. What about Mr. Kim? When it's endless, with our content and our culture, should we uphold our identity, or should we also take into consideration the global context? Well, in the past, it was a global context that we always have to keep in mind. So as much as possible, how can we cater to the global fans? But that was in the past. So now it's what is global and what is Korean. This dichotomy is not drawn because from the foreigner's point of view, what they want to do is that they really want to enjoy what Korea is all about, what Korean culture is about, and not something filtered or interpreted. So from their point of view, the song Golden, this is like a new let it go of this era. So likewise, the songs from Disney, it's almost the same. Like they like the song from KDH and they just want to enjoy it as it is. So we should not think about how this will be interpreted or accepted by the international audience, but what we should do is that we show as it is as much as possible, just like what director Kang said. This is the genuinity and this is the sincerity, and itself would be sufficient enough, and that will be the great way forward. Thank you.
So now we have some 100 K-pop global fans via video, and let us give them opportunities as well for some questions. Now we will listen to some questions. So we all have earphones right now, so please have your earphones on for interpreting. So please put your earphones on. And please, we will have our audience to have the earphones on as well.
자, 이제 한 분 한 분
So we will go and meet the audience. First, we will see from Caitlin from Chicago, US. She's connected right now.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Benson. I'm a K-pop actor and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. And I have a question for Twice. I was wondering what was the most challenging part about preparing Takedown for K-pop Demon Hunters compared to, you know, coming together for a Twice comeback?
컴백 준비와 비교했을 때
So compared to your comeback, when you were preparing for Takedown, what was the difficulties?
사실 처음에
Well,
저희가 제안을 받고
when we were first proposed on it,
다 보내주셨어요.
we received the whole soundtrack of the Huntrix, and we were asked to pick out what you would like to do. So we were feeling free to pick out one that we would like. So did you think about Golden as well? Yes, of course.
살짝.
So, well, it's a little bit of a pity, but we love Takedown. And for all three of us, I thought it was the really great fit for us. What about Jeongyeon? Any difficulties? Well, ever since my debut, the Takedown was the most difficult song. When I was recording, it was so hard. And how can I really do this? Can I really...
잘했어요.
But you did a good job, right? Thank you. Because Takedown itself is your new record, right? Yes.
박수 한번 부탁드립니다.
Well, why don't we give a big round of applause?
자, 우리 케이틀린께
So thank you, Caitlin. I hope that answers your question.
질문 감사합니다.
Thank you for your
케이틀린.
question.
네. 자, 우리 또 다음 분 뵙도록 할게요. 이번엔 또 LA에서
So we will meet another person. We have a person from LA. We have Kaylin.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaylin. I'm a language learner and K-pop enthusiast. I have a question for Maggie. Even though K-pop is something that has grown exponentially over the past 30 years all across the globe and in the US, the average American still may not have much familiarity with it beyond maybe BTS and Psy. And then furthermore, even less familiarity with Korean culture, language, and history as a whole. So what was it like pitching to an audience that may not be familiar with those aspects that really make the movie great?
한국 문화에 익숙치 않은 외국
Well, for
분들에게
the
어떤
foreigners who are not
식으로
familiar with
어필을
culture of Korea, how would you appeal? Well, Netflix and Sony Pictures, they were searching for such movies, I think. And the post Upper Hunt, who is my partner, director, he made We Street, that is concerning the Chinese culture, and that really was a big hit in Netflix. And I think that was taken by surprise because it's a Chinese story or narrative, but it still appealed to the global audience. So the studio asked me, do you have such stories? Oh yes, of course, I answered that there is a movie that we can explain Korean culture more easily. So that was on the search, I would say. But
한국인이라는 그런 자부심.
I have a very strong pride being a Korean, so I really wanted to make such a movie, and so I thought I really didn't have too much in about how it would be shown, but it's showing as it is. But my question is, you spent most of your life abroad, but how could you keep that pride as a Korean for such a long time?
2학년인가 3학년 때
I think it was around second or third grade of elementary, and my teacher asked me, "Where are you from? Which country are you from?" And I said, South Korea. And that teacher looked on the map and he or she could not find the country because it was so small. So it was, I said it is in between China and Japan. And I pointed out where it was. But the teacher said, I thought it was China. So I looked at the map, and China and Japan had the same color, and Korea was colored in some other color. So it was like second-tier country type of perception. So even though when I was young, I was quite shocked by it because I have never thought in that sense. So what I think is that I think it was from then on that I should do, or I have always keep in mind that I should do something to really invigorate my country. Well, let me elaborate. Republic of Korea, the culture, we may not be always aware of it, but in this very fierce political scene, we can become one with this cheer stick. Because political resistance itself is about like putting up fire and always dying and killing. But we have come all the way with dance and music. And this is very natural to us. But others would see it very unfamiliar because it should be an uprise, not someone with a cheering stick and dancing. So this is so beautiful a scene, and we overcome it. And also, in the traditional Korean, Chinese literature, they say that Korean people are very good in dancing and singing. Not alcohol drinking, but dancing and singing. So in the ancient times, even, the characteristics of people in the Korean peninsula, they play well, they enjoy, they're the race that enjoy the culture, the dance. And during the Japanese colonial rule, we had such dark days, but activist Kim Gu said that he dreamt of a culture powerhouse, and we are at the doorsteps into the powerhouse of culture. So what is most Korean is the most global. So that is why we need to have pride in it. And the new government's strategy of culture, we have embraced this cultural enhancement. And I believe that we have a very big potential in this cultural advancement. So I really thank all of you for your hard work into this avenue. So K-pop was not just became materialized overnight.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Caitlin.
네, 감사합니다.
Caitlin.
자, 우리 해외 팬분들이 또 이렇게 K-pop,
There are many
K-컬처에 관심이 많다.
fans globally who are very interested in K-pop.
자, 이렇게 팬덤을 비롯해서
So together with the fandom, there has been a lot of interest in K-pop, and we have more expansion of the K-pop market for the sustainability and the expectations for the future, as well as we have some challenges that we need to overcome. So we will watch a short video clip regarding it and then discuss later on.
We're going up, 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 it's our moment. You know together we're going. Gonna be golden. Up, up, up with our voices. No one can just so on it. Gonna be golden.
박수 한번 부탁드립니다.
So let's give a round of applause.
자, 이번엔 또 트와이스
So
분들께
now
먼저 질문
we
드리고
will give the
싶은데
first questions to
사실
Twice.
이제 미국의 투어를 돌기
You know
시작한
that
것이
you've
6년
started,
가까이
it's been
됐다고
about 6 years since you've been touring in the US. So how is it different from back then and now with regards to the status of K-pop, and how do you actually feel it?
저희가 처음
Well,
미국에
when
갔을
we
때
first went to the
생각이
US, I still remember we went to New York for a music program.
나가게 되면서 미국을 처음
So it was our first visit to the US 6 years ago. Back then, no one actually recognized us, and you couldn't even hear K-pop. However, it's very different nowadays. You can actually hear a lot of K-pop from restaurants and stores, and a lot of people actually recognize me. So it was very surprising that people recognized me. So I'm very happy about it. What about you, Jeongyeon? Well, when we started the world tour, it was a very small size group and it was a very small performance hall. But nowadays, the performance halls are really big. We perform in a big stadium now. So I think it's a very privilege and honor to be able to perform in a large stadium, and it also shows how that a lot of people actually recognize and enjoy our music. So it's very surprising to see that, and at the same time, a lot of the Korean fans actually learn Korean language, and you can actually see some of them actually using Korean. I'm very thankful for that. So wherever you go in the world, a lot of the foreigners actually say greetings in Korean, so it's very touching as well. So I have a question for R.Tee. I know that you have actually made a label, so let's give him a round of applause and congratulations, R.Tee, for the new label. So as a producer, it's not just about K-pop, but in various genres, in order for it to develop, we do believe that you need different labels. Why do you think this? Well, recently I launched a company called RTST Label, and I want to focus on producing solo artists in Korean who can start in Korea and expand globally. So I also make K-pop idol group as well, but in the K-pop, there's, aside from the idol music, there's a lot of people who are very talented as well. So I'm a producer and writer myself, but then I'm also active in performing as an EDM DJ. Oh, that's very nice. Well, recently I participated and collaborated with Jeon So-yeon from Idol Group, and it's about called Damdari, and it's a house music. So we actually made a very Korean and Eastern song title. So as much as I am in the EDM genre, I do believe that we need to expand the different genres for people to enjoy more often and to enjoy more. So we're trying to show people and the public these different genres, and I think it's very, very important. So this market is actually run by large entertainment companies, but in order for these small labels to actually settle down, what do you think is necessary? Well, first of all, we need very talented artists. That's the most important. And second of all, we do need a concert hall, a performance hall, so for these artists to actually perform. And these artists should be able to be showcased and shown to the public through different media. So you just mentioned that we need a lot of performance halls, and this makes our industry to grow more. So I want to know how Mr. President feels about this. I feel a lot of responsibilities regarding this. So when I heard recently, so a lot of people actually go to Japan to perform. So because Japan has a very high quality on performance halls, and in Korea, we don't really have many performance facilities. We don't really have large-scale performance halls. So I went to Ilsan, and when I was in Ilsan, when I was a governor there, I wanted to make an Ilsan arena, but it didn't really work out well. But I do think that these kind of foundations are very important, like large studios or stadiums or performance halls. So if not, I do think that it's very necessary for us to actually renovate the existing ones into performance halls. But I think the most important of all is the content. So in order for a large street to actually grow, we do need the foundation on the ground. So therefore, for pure art, pure music, so these kind of understanding and support is very important. Even if we do think that we will have different projects and items in that as well. So this, in order to make this possible, is the responsibilities of the government. For the government support on the art and music and these cultural aspects, I think it's very important. And art is needs to be very free. It needs to have its own characteristics. It needs to be creative, and the spirit needs also to be very free as well. But usually, generally, there are some instinct for the political figures to actually to control it, but to use it in some aspects. However, our strong belief has been notified by President Kim Dae-jung. It's very important not to interfere, but it's not a very easy thing because there are some, I guess, the monitoring going on, like a blacklist, for example. So the culture needs to be provided, and we do need to provide environment for these cultural aspects to grow in a very free environment. So I think that this is the responsibilities and roles of the government. So I'm trying to make this possible, and we'll see how it goes. Let's give Mr. President a big round of applause to make this possible. So while listening to this, the future of K-pop music is even more exciting to see in the future. So I want to discuss with all the panelists over here today. So over the past 30 years, when I see it, K-pop has been growing exponentially. But there are something that I might be missing, but even in this situation, we do have some limitations or challenges that we need to overcome. So I would like to discuss about this, so whether what kind of limitations or what kind of challenges that we have faced to this day. So K-pop is very similar to Korea's modern contemporary history. It doesn't have a strong foundation, but it was possible because of the passion of the people. So a small number of people like idols like TWICE have actually made a lot of efforts in order to have this K-pop culture more developed. So we do have a system actually been ready right now for K-pop and K-culture, but at the same time, we weren't really able to focus on specific and detailed parts of it. For example, who is going to own the IP, or how we are going to produce a OTT or a platform to introduce a Korean culture, and how we can be the vanguard of Korean culture. Then how are we going to foster musicians? I mean, we have a system for growing and fostering idols, but we have a lot of editors, dancers, and artists even behind even the KDF and other Korean culture. But we have to be clear that we were a bit indifferent. However, expecting someone like artists like Bong Joon-ho and TWICE and other idol girls, but we do it's very difficult to grow it as. So we need to think about a way to provide support for indie artists or people who are left off from support from the government, and therefore I do hope that we will have more performance halls to support them. So overall, I do believe that K-culture as a whole, or K-music as a whole, needs to become stronger in order to reap fruitful results. So after listening to Critic Kim, R.Tee is very happy about this. So it's not just about K-pop, but for overall K-pop artists as well. So is there any comments that you would like to make regarding the challenges and concerns we may have regarding it? So I don't know if we can actually solve it, but it's members like Jeongyeon here and Mina as well. But it's a very hectic schedule, and we have a lot of eyes watching us. So it's been a bit challenging for us. So I do believe that there are some time where we can train this or to actually relieve the stress from this. So we never really knew that we would be this busy or this popular. So maybe we have been a little unprepared with regards to that. So you're saying that you're very happy for all the love that you have receiving, but it would be better if you have been receiving some support in order to overcome some of the stress that you may have. And as an administrative officer that's in charge of responsible for policies, we look at the results of the successful artists or successful project is very important as well. But it's a very small percentage of the people that make efforts to it, because many people try this and some people fail it, and some people don't even have an opportunity to attempt this. So the government should be responsible for making a strong foundation, and this is to make sure that all cultural aspect of industries needs to have equal opportunities for them to grow. And in order for that is to make this possible, the government needs to focus on the sophisticated aspects, and it's not very easy. You can actually say that we have not been really keeping a close eye regarding this. So it's very surprising, and it's like a miracle that we have so many outstanding artists and programs here. So the basis of the Korean is very strong. For example, around the world, there are very different. Korea is the only country that has such diverse religions that does not come in conflict with each other. Of course, we do have our issues, but it's very accepting for the religious freedom. So we have this kind of freedom, but among this, in order for it's very important for all individual artists to be able to participate in producing their new work. However, it's not very easy. So we need to make the soil for it and to have the seeds planted. And this is the role of the government. And when we look at this, K-pop is in the vanguard. So following the K-pop, a lot of games and drama series are being produced. And K-food is also important because everyone's like eating kimbap in the videos. So K-food is following up, and a lot of people are very interested in how beautiful Korea is, and the gay beauty industry is also supporting a lot of, receiving a lot of interest as well. And a lot of the world is currently going through a lot of turbulence politically. For example, there are some armed forces conflicting with each other, but in Korea, it's managing in a very beautiful way. It's all about K-democracy. So it's a comprehensive art. In the perspective of the government, we are taking a long-term approach about this, and we are trying to grow this cultural industry, but also provide support and invest in the foundation so that more people are able to invest in it and to grow and to discover themselves during the process. So I am thinking about actually making this possible, and I please keep continuous interest for this. So we want to see more groups like TWICE.
So we want to see more. We would have to have 1, 2, 3 of Maggie Kangs. Can we expect to see it? Of course. I would love that.
자, 음악 얘기를 저희가
Well, now we're talking a lot about music. What about Mr. President? Have you found personally consolation in music? Well, as I said, we are the people enjoying dance and music. Whenever we are in despair or in agony, we are consolated by music and we're encouraged by music. So to be a little bit extreme, last year winter, we weathered it through singing songs. Right, you're right. Well, do you have like one song that you really found comfort in? Well, it was the Green Tree. The song Green. Would it be too much of an excuse? Too much of asking you to sing one part? Well, that would be really too much. Well, at the moment, people around the world are seeking consolation in K-pop music, and as such, culture can. Do you see that culture can address social challenges? Of course, people can't just live by only eating, because people should come together, come in solidarity, and they need to have some time to self-cleanse themselves. And I think arts and culture would play that role. Well, what about Director Kang? From a global perspective, not only K-pop, but the culture as Korean culture as a whole, what do you believe are essential so that it could earn worldwide love and continue on? Well, as I mentioned earlier, we should not conceal anything, but we just come straight forward and have confidence in what we have and how we live and what we look like. And if we show that as it is, people are curious about it. So they're like, oh, Korea is like this, or culture is like this. Yes, that is right. Well, as a director, what I have to keep in mind is that I should not worry about what would others interpret it like. but I should really be truthful to myself and to what I think. Of course, that is frightening to some extent, but that is my real myself. And if I present that, then that would be accepted and a connection could be generated. Well, yes, of course, we should be very confident. Like the tiger over there. It's very playful. And people of Republic of Korea, the culture of the people of Korea is actually called a, it's something, it's a humor, it's a witty thing. And I think the tiger itself, how it's represented is a epitome of that, because tiger itself is a very frightening creature, because as we say it, we have the diseases, the epidemics, and tiger that we were fearful of. But that very frightening creature became such a playful character. Well, it's just, I thought it as a hodori, which is the 1988 Seoul Olympics symbol. I thought it was the second rendition of hodori. Well, so that is why I think I'm so proud of it. So we should really gain our strength from it. So let's put our hands together. So I believe that Mr. President really likes this tiger doll. So we're going to present it to him after the show is over. This is the only rendition. So, Mr. President, what do you have any other culture avenues that you think it might grow in the future? Well, in the policy, industrial policies, we call it A, B, C, D, E, F, and C stands for culture. So culture and content, and that will be the division that we're going to concentrate on. Until now, we saw a lot of music in this domain, but I think in the next future, it will be the food. As in the movie, it was represented very well. So food itself is a comprehensive art. So, as we mentioned, K-pop is a new big fad, and through movies and through dramas, people learn Korean language. And we also have the Korean institutes, 세종학당, around the world. So I think that could also be industrialized. That would also be an industry. And also, the beauty industry itself, I think it has quite a potential. But all these industries are all connected. And also, like the video or animation, music, and those, I think, would have a tremendous potential. So video, culture, beauty, food, for it to receive love, what kind of a philosophy or love should we have? It should be pride, the confidence, because in the world, we have the colonial countries who went under colonial rule, but amongst those countries, there are no countries that are affluent as Korea, as democratized as Korea. The Republic of Korea is the only one. So when you take a closer look, it's a tremendous thing, a feat that we have achieved. So I believe that would trigger the curiosity, because the more you take a closer look into it, it is it's a very mysterious and very curious country in the eastern part. So we can have confidence in being Koreans and in Korean culture. So we received questions from our global fans, but we should not end it here, but we should also cater to the questions from the floor. So anyone who has a question from the audience, please give the microphone. Please introduce yourself. Hello. I'm a choreographer. My name is Seokhae-jin, and I want to ask Jeongyeon and Jihyo of TWICE. K-pop industry is constantly evolving, and it's very competitive. And as an artist, what do you think is the most vital quality for long-term sustainability? And do you have any personal routines that you practice consistently? recently. So you asked about the capabilities and routine. Well, it's been 10 years since we made our debuts, and for the 10 years we have worked very hard, and now we have made ourselves very familiar to this work. So at the moment, rather than competition, we're enjoying ourselves and show ourselves as we are and the energies that we have. And by doing so, people can feel or resonate even better with us and enjoying the fan interaction with them. So it is another
또 어떤 루틴 같은 게 있을까요?
capability to able to enjoy, right? So what about any routines? Well, for me, before I go to bed, I always brief in my mind what I should do tomorrow, my to-dos for tomorrow. So you're a perfectionist, right? So the choreography, I think about it before I go to bed, or I memorize the lyrics. By doing so, only by doing so, I can be comfortable next day. So you think about your routines before you go to sleep, right? Well, why don't we give a big round of applause to the questioner?
이어서 또 질문 있으신 분
Another
들어주실까요?
question?
우리 남자분. 예.
So we have another person with a question. We'll hand over the mic. Good afternoon. I am Ko Gi-young and I'm an actor. In my case, I have a question to director Maggie Kang.
K-pop에서
So in K-pop, there's a lot of music videos and stage direction, and it's a very crucial part in K-pop. So in your perspective, how do you see the video direction trend evolving over the next 5 years? So how do you think it's going to change over time?
향후 5년간의
So it's about how the trend of the video and imaging in the next 5 years. So in my perspective, I think the method of watching the video will change in the future, because recently I met someone who works in Meta, and I actually tried out the VR Meta Google goggle and saw a concert. So there's a program for watching a concert with the goggles. So I saw it was very real and it was very interesting to see that. So this is a different experience, and I thought they would be very interesting to incorporate this in our movies. So nowadays, it's being developed even more, and I do think that this kind of experience will become more popular among the public. And even if I don't go to the actual concert, by using the goggle, you can feel that you're actually at the concert by using the AI goggle. So you've just mentioned that you are an actor, so you don't know when you're going to meet director Kang as well. So please appeal yourself. So introduce about yourself. So by your charm, so maybe you can work with her Maggie Kang later. This is a very rare opportunity. So as Mr. President has mentioned, I'm like a bibimbap. No matter what kind of sector it is, I'm able to use this and show you. Whether actor, idol, I will become an actor that can provide as many different talents as possible.
우리 고기용 배우 화이팅!
So this is actor Ko Gi-young. So keep it
또
up.
질문 있으신 분?
So do you have any other question? We will take another question.
안녕하세요. 저는 지금
Good afternoon. I am dreaming of becoming a performance director, and I'm a college student. And I have a question for the president. So Kim Gu activist has said you've also mentioned about the importance of the culture. So how do you think that Korea is, on what stage that Korea is on becoming a cultural powerhouse? Of course, it's about what kind of, how much expectations we have. I think that we're at the very beginning stage. It has been a very short period of time. And the Korea's cultural project has actually initiated during the former President Kim Dae-jung's and after that there has been not a lot of investment going on. It was just a general investment. So I do think that we need to step up and enter the stage 2 for investment for cultural aspects. So we've actually received a lot of comments in the past, as so for example, Korea is been regarded as a light of the East. So we are living in a very turbulent society right now. So material-wise, we're very wealthy about it. But then there are a lot of physical aspects, psychological aspects as well, because so much tension and conflict. And I think that Korean culture has its own strength in order to comfort people. And I think we have what it takes to actually initiate an era where people can be comforted psychologically by Korean culture. And I think that the foundation for it is very important, and it's the role of the government. And I do believe that cultural industry and it should become the key industry of Korea. So recently I've mentioned about industries constantly, and some artists in Korea who there are some pure artists that have been saying that they're the genuine artists, but I've actually received some comments that I should not just focus on making an earning about it, because they also want to develop like pure art as well. But we do need to make sure that pure artists should be at the foundation. Only then can we sustain the cultural development. So as been mentioned by the critic, this is the current status of the Korean cultural industry, because it may look fancy in the outside. However, the foundation is still a bit weak, and therefore this is something that should be developed going forward. So we need to have very strong root, and this is the role and responsibility by the Korean government. So I have to say this is a starting point of our development in the future. Please give him a round of applause. So thank you very much for your precious question. Because of time limitations, we will end the Q&A session from the floor. So we are now at the final point of the program. So the president has listened to a lot of opinions from the floor and during this program. And do you have any message that you'd like to share with our studio audience, our online participants, and K-pop and K-culture fans watching our world? Well, the Republic of Korea doesn't really have a lot of physical resources. So human resources is the resource of the Republic of Korea. So we have made tremendous amount of investment. So we have been educating a lot of the citizens, and we're very adaptable for changing environments. So we have many industries like state-of-the-art technology industry, and we'll be investing in various different industries as well. However, I do believe that Korea has outstanding status in its capabilities in the cultural sector. So the world becoming materially affluent, it has its own limitations. And what comes next is to fulfill the desire for people's earnings for the culture. So how we are able to actually settle down in this changing environment is important. So we need to take continuous interest, and as mentioned, we need to be proud of our culture. The people needs to be proud, and to become a country that is a cultural powerhouse and some culture that we're all proud of. So I would like to ask for all Korean citizens equal opportunities for it. I know that you're at the vanguard, but I ask for your continuous effort, because everyone is following your lead. Please give him a big round of applause. So together with the president, we also had Upeye and other panelists who have participated in today's discussion. Please give them a big round of applause.
네, 오늘 이 시간이 K-pop 산업의 미래에
We do believe that this has been a very fruitful time for all of us for Korean culture and the industry. Thank you very much. I was your MC, Jang Sungkyu.